So the syndicate I'm on at the moment, I've probably been on for about 7 or 8 years, and to be fair, I've had most of the fish out of here. It's not a particularly big syndicate. It's only about 4 to 5 acres, and some of you might have seen obviously the surroundings in a lot of product reviews that I've been doing. There's 2 fish that I can't catch and 1 that kind of keeps me coming back here. Things are going to change when it comes to April. It's mid-March now. I've got a ticket on a new water, which I used to be a member of a few years back. Didn't have the time to fish it properly, but now obviously things have changed a little bit. So I'm going to be moving on to that, and to be honest, it's not worth me keeping the membership on this one. But I still can't get that one fish out of my mind. Around this time of year, it normally comes out. It's normally just scraping around the 30-pound mark, and it is the biggest fish in here. There's a few upper 20s, really nice old scaly fish, but there's just this one fish that I cannot seem to catch. And with the state of the world at the moment, it looks like there's probably only going to be about a week's fishing left. So I thought I'd go for it. I'm going to put a lot of bait in, put a lot of time in, and do everything I can to catch this one fish. The fish is called 𝗙𝗏, and like I say, it hovers around the 30-pound mark. Pretty sure it's a male fish, so it doesn't seem to drop too much weight, doesn't seem to put too much on. It's quite an old fish by all accounts. It's probably older than me, to be honest. And yeah, I'm just going to hit it hard for this next week. Going to put a lot of bait in. There's an area with a big overhanging snag, which I know it does come out of quite often, and this time of year especially, it normally does 1 or 2 bites in quite quick succession. So I'm hoping, as it's still pretty quiet on the banks at the moment, I'm hoping I might just have that chance. Now, I did fish last night, probably put about 3 or 4 kilos in, so quite a bit for this time of year, but I'm thinking if I'm going to spend a lot of time up here over the next week, I want to get a bit of bait out and then gradually top up every other night, something like that, another couple of kilos, and just do all I can to get the fish into that area. Did have a bite last night. Also had a funny little pull up when I brought in. The hook was actually masked by the bait had wrapped around the hook and just very slightly nicked it, so I think I probably missed a bite there. So I'm just coming into the second night now, and all being well, I might get a couple more bites. Coming off tomorrow, not fishing tomorrow night, so I'm going to put a bit of bait in before I leave, and then I'll be back again over the weekend for hopefully a couple of nights. So I'm hoping that over these next few nights I might start getting a few more bites as they start getting a bit used to bait. Like I said, it's nice and quiet up here at the moment as well, so not a lot of people are fishing. So I'm hoping if there's that big bed of bait in, it's going to start drawing the fish in. I know that 𝗙𝗏 does come from that area, so only time will tell. So last night was actually quite an eventful night, and it involved 3 bites, including this one, which went bang on £19. Had a smaller common as well, probably about £15, and to be honest, it didn't look like it had ever been caught before. It was quite nice to see that one. I've also got another one in the net, which I've had a few times. Every year I seem to catch it, a couple of times at least. It always hovers around the £20 mark, so I'm going to get this one back, and then we'll get the other one out to have a look at as well. Got the rods back on the spot this morning, put some bait out as well, so I'm hoping I might get one last bite before packing up this morning. But yeah, let's get this one back. So here you go, here's the second mirror. It's not the best looking fish, but it's definitely a bit of a character. Like I say, I've had it a few times over the years, well, normally a couple of times each year, and this time it's got 19.5 so not quite the 20 mark, which sometimes it can hit, but again, it's another welcome fish, and hopefully another one closer to 𝗙𝗏. Let's get this back, and fingers crossed might get one last bite this morning. So just to give you a quick update of what's been happening, yesterday I didn't have any more fish before I reeled in. So yesterday was Friday, obviously I had the 3 fish Thursday night, which is obviously a good start. They're getting onto the bait, But yeah, nothing before I reeled in at probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Before I came home, or before I went home yesterday, putting another couple of kilos onto the spot, and then I've turned up today, which is now Saturday, so I've given it 24 hours with loads of bait on the spot and no lines in the water. Turned up today, I've just put about 5 or 6 handfuls of bait out, hoping that, well, I mean, obviously I didn't want to overfill it, and I didn't want to put another couple of kilos out, not knowing if anything's actually been there. So I just put a few handfuls just in case something had been there, and then got the rods back over the spot. So I'm going to judge it how it goes tonight. If I do get 2 or 3 more bites, then I will put another probably couple of kilos out. Going to fish again tomorrow night as well, and then Monday I'm going to go home, refresh everything. I've got loads of products to pick up again because I've got to do a bit more filming for work. So see how it goes over this weekend really. I'm hoping it might do a few bites, and you never know, score might be on the cards. So last night was another good night, and I ended up with 4 bites, one of which was a tench, but the other 3 were carp, all off the same spot, and it's clear that they're definitely getting on the bait. I had a couple of smaller mirrors, just around 19 pound, and then I had one of the slightly bigger ones from the lake, which was 23 pound 12 ounces. So it feels like I am starting to get amongst them a little bit, and it's clear that they're definitely on the bait. I had the two 19 pound mirrors by, I think it was about 11 o'clock last night, so I ended up putting another couple of kilos in straight after I caught those 2 fish, because they clearly were getting on the bait, and 2 out of 3 of the carp that I had were actually pulling out the bait that I'd been putting in on the mat. So they're definitely on it, and by having one of the slightly big ones as well, it feels like I am getting that little bit closer each time to scar. So today it's gone a bit quiet, but it seems to be a bit of a pattern that it's going really quiet during the day, nothing happening at all, because we've got quite hot days at the moment, and then at night they seem to be feeding. Seem to have a fish about 9:30 each night. So today I've taken the opportunity to put a little bit more bait in, because I put the 2 kilos in last night, and then I had the 23 pound 12 ounce mirror shortly after putting that bait in. So I've put another couple of kilos in during the day today, put the rods back on the spot. It's about 2 o'clock now, so I'm just going to leave them to it, and hopefully each one will go, because it does, like I said, it does seem that they are getting on it, and yeah, hopefully with each fish it is getting a little bit closer to scar. So just have to see what tonight brings. Hopefully it'll do a couple more fish, and you never know, one of them might be the one that I'm after. But if not, then it's still going well, and I'm still catching fish. I think it's fair to say that each night I feel like I'm getting a little bit closer to scar. Last night I had a couple of upper doubles again, the 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏, and then this one, which is one of the A team known as the Zip. And it's the only fish other than scar out of here that I haven't had yet. So I'm absolutely made up to have it. And yeah, she went 27 pound 8 ounces. But what an amazing looking fish. Absolutely perfect linear. I've seen photos of her before, but I've never actually seen her on the bank, so to actually have her, I'm made up with her. So I was literally just about to start reeling in, because I've got to nip home, pick up a load of products that I've got to film for work, and my right rod absolutely screamed off. Managed to wipe out both my other lines, which is pretty handy. I was bringing them in anyway, but it resulted in this perfect mirror. 22 pound. Again, it's been pulling out the essential IB right on the mat, so they're definitely on the bait. It's definitely passing through them. So I'm going to get this back, get another couple of kilos out, and give the swim a bit of a rest for a few hours before putting any rods back over the spot again. And then fingers crossed tonight might result in a few more bites as well. So let's get this one back There's another immaculate looking fish. I'm well happy. So I didn't really expect this. Brought the rods in about midday today and put a little bit of bait out just before I brought them in, and put these back out probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Sun's just going down a little bit now, so it's got a little bit colder. But literally within about 10 minutes of putting the rods out, the right hand rod screamed off. So again, they're definitely on the bait. I'm going to get a bit more bait out ready for tonight and hopefully manage to pick up a few more. So I've just got the right hand rod back out and it went nice and tight to the snag once again. So never know, it might do another quick bite. I'm going to put a little bit of bait out now. I'm going to take this opportunity, and I think I am actually going to put a couple of kilos out. I've seen quite a bit of activity on the snag, a lot of branches and things like that knocking about. So it looks like it is holding fish, and based on the quick bite, I've got a feeling that they might be wanting a little bit as well. So yeah, I'm going to get a couple of kilos out, I think. I'm using the 𝗙𝗹𝗵𝗿𝗆, which is obviously a nice bright bait, ideal for this sort of time of year, and it's really nice and quick and easy to digest as well. So hopefully it will get them going a little bit, and fingers crossed it might result in a couple of bites tonight. So I'm going to get a little bit out there now and then go and chill out for a little bit. So just to give a quick update on today, it's been a pretty busy one really. Obviously the light's starting to drop a little bit now, and the temperature's really dropping as well. But I left the pond about 11 o'clock this morning, just after having that 22-pound mirror, and got back here by about 2 o'clock with all the new products that I've got to film over the next few days. So I've been pretty busy rushing around, sorting everything out. Just before I left, I did put a couple of kilos out on the spot, and hopefully, well, obviously it has paid off already with that 18-pound mirror. And hopefully it will do a few more bites tonight. After having that 18-pound mirror, I did put a little bit more bait out as well, because it's clear they were on the spot. So fingers crossed it'll do a few more bites tonight. But like I say, the sun's dropping down now, temperature's dropping as well. So I'm going to have a little bit of dinner and get myself into the sleeping bag, I think. So after doing that quick update, I really didn't expect to be straight in front of the camera once again. The same rod absolutely screamed off, right hand rod, and resulted in this amazing looking 21-pound mirror. So I really can't complain. I was expecting to get all settled in for the night, but it seems that one more stopped by to say hello. So I'm going to get her back and have a little bit of dinner, I think. So it seems that putting that bait on the spot earlier really is paying off. And to be fair, 4 bites in as many hours, I think I might have to put a little bit more on it before I go to bed. Awesome fish, 25.5 pound. And again, one of the better fish out of the lake. So well pleased to have this. And get some shots of her and then get her back. Wicked. So once again, last night was a pretty successful night, and it's clear that again they are definitely getting on that bait. By midnight last night I'd had 5 bites with fish up to 25.5 pound. So again, a right result, considering that the average in here is probably about 17-18 pound, which is a lot higher than when I first started. They were all doing about 12-13 pounds. So they're definitely putting on the weight, but there's not many upper 20s. So I'm pretty happy with how it's been going so far. I've had a few nice fish over the last few nights, and unfortunately, after midnight, it went completely dead. It was a really cold night, so it just emphasises that this time of year, there are still some really cold nights about, and it definitely hasn't warmed up yet. Today hasn't been much warmer. It looks nice and sunny, but it's still been pretty cold, and there's been a cold wind, really high pressure, so not a lot has happened at all. I did have a bite about 10 o'clock this morning, but unfortunately I lost that one, and then the rest of the day has been completely dead as well. I thought I was getting closer and closer, and then with how last night went, it was going so well, and then that cold night has just completely killed off everything. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully tonight we'll do a few more bites. but I haven't really put much more bait out. I put a bit more out last night after having them bites, and then today I haven't really put much out at all because there's just nothing reacting to it whatsoever. So if I do get a few bites again tonight, then I will be putting a bit more out over the spot, but for now I'm not going to put any more out until something happens. So I was beginning to wonder, with the cold night last night and then the high pressure today, if they'd finally moved off the spot and stopped feeding. But just coming into the evening, and just before this I had a grass carp, which I didn't bother filming because they always beat me up on the bank. And then about half an hour later, put the rod back out. Well, I put the rod back out, and then about half an hour later, same rod ripped off with this one. And I thought I'm gonna leave that rod out just for the time being, because if they do come in a shoal, then there's every chance that another fish might do a bite as well. And just as I was beginning to film this one, my right hand rod ripped off as well. And there's a common in the net which I've just landed, and there's only one common in the lake above 20 pound, and I'm pretty sure that it might be it. So I'm going to get this one back, and then we get the common out to have a little look at as well. Here's the common. So the mirror went 21.5 and this one went £23.4 and like I say, it's the only common over £20 in here. To be fair, there's only a handful of commons anyway, so to have the biggest common in here, I'm more than made up. And a couple of 20s in as many minutes is just insane. So I've got the rods back out now, and I'm going to put a little bit of bait over the spot, not as much as I have been doing. Probably just going to put about 1 kilo out, in the hope that obviously being a bit less bait out there I might end up with a few more bites as well. So I'm going to slip this one back, get some bait out, and then have a little bit of dinner, I think, because it's getting near that time. So I just got the rods back out for the afternoon, and about an hour after putting them back out, the right hand rod screamed off, and this put up quite a fight. I thought it was going to be a bigger fish than it is, but it's still another 20 at 21.5 pound. So I'm going to get this one back out, get a little bit more bait out, and hopefully we'll have a few more bites tonight. But even so, I think that's up to about 8 20s so far on this little campaign. So I can't complain at all, but hopefully manage just a few more. So unfortunately last night didn't start in the best way at all, and I lost 2 fish on the bounce. First one was a hook pull quite soon after hooking it, and then the second one, the line literally snapped on the take, so it must have been a little kink in the line or something. A little bit later, I think just before first light this morning, ended up with this really nice little linear, just bang on 17 pounds, so obviously not the biggest that I've been catching, but I thought it was a really nice looking fish, so I thought I'd get it out, get some shots of it as well. And just after that, I had a screaming take on my right rod. It was locked up, but as I got to the rod, it was still peeling loads of line off it. So it's a bit of a character. It is a recapture and it is one of the biggest fish in the lake actually, and I've got a feeling, I might be wrong, but it might just hit 30 for the first time this year. So I'm going to get this one back and then we get that out. Some of you might already recognise it, but yeah, it's well worth being featured in this video. Let's get this one back and then I'll get out the character. Just done it. Just done the 30 pound 8 ounces. So I caught her last June at £29.14, and as you can see, she is full of spawn at the moment. First 30 pound koi. What a character. That is a proper fish. Just, yeah. It's quite a short fish, but it's so wide. Really compact, really strong. And every time I've caught her, the fight has been insane. She's got so much strength to her. Hopefully, this is one step closer to Scar. But when you're catching fish like this in the meantime, it doesn't really matter what the end goal is. I can get some pictures and then get her back. So obviously this little campaign has been going really well so far, and with the amount of fish I've had in the nights that I've been here, I cannot complain one bit, and I've definitely had some really nice special ones as well. So far I've done 7 nights and that's resulted in 31 bites, and I've lost 4 of those, so I've landed 27 and 9 20s and 1 30 out of them 27 fish that I've landed. So it's been really good going, considering it's not a lake filled with big fish. I'm more than made up with the fish that I have caught from here. But unfortunately, with what's going on in the world at the moment, I'm going to have to cut this campaign a little bit short. Obviously, with the coronavirus spreading across the world, it looks like we're going into lockdown very soon. So unfortunately, that means no more fishing. So it seems like Scar has got away from me this time. With every capture, every night, I felt like I was getting that little bit closer. But if we're literally being told that we can't go out, then unfortunately, I'm going to have to put a stop to it. It does mean that I will have to carry on another year on this lake, which isn't a bad thing because it is a really nice lake, really nice scenic lake as well. But I was hoping to wrap it up just during this little campaign and catch Scar, have the last fish off the list. But it doesn't seem like it's going to go that way. I have got my ticket till the 1st of June, so with any luck we will be out before then. But to be honest, with the way it's looking, I don't think we will be. So another year on here alongside my new syndicate that I'll be joining, and yeah, unfortunately I've got to cut it short, but like I say, there's nothing we can do about that. So if you have liked this video and you want to see more of this sort of content, then obviously make sure you subscribe to the CARPology YouTube channel and like all the different social media platforms that we're on as well, so that way you won't miss anything. But again, thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon.